Welcome to MTV Glow, where bright conversations always flow. This is MTV Glow, people you should know.
I'm Tamara Pow of Strategy Law LLP in downtown San Jose. We are a business and real estate law firm. We have about 20 attorneys in 2 offices. Downtown San Jose is our main office, and we also have an office in Danville for our East Bay attorneys and clients. And we practice everything from business and real estate transactions, intellectual property, mergers and acquisitions, employment law, and litigation matters to support business people and real estate investors. I help people prevent problems later by helping them get into good agreements now. When they're dealing with partners, real estate, or starting a business or running a business. So imagine if you and your friend wanted to run a lemonade stand together. I'd be the person who helps you figure out the rules so you don't fight later, the laws so that you don't get into trouble later, and just help you work together to be successful. Someone once said that I'm like a business therapist for business owners and real estate investors because I don't just help people with the paperwork, I help them talk through tricky situations, kind of mediate or negotiate with the people that they're in business with and set up really healthy relationships with their partners so that they can do well together. And then build plans that work to keep them out of trouble when things get complicated later. I always loved that description because it captures the human side of what I do, human side of legal work that people don't always see. And, I work with a lot of family-owned businesses, siblings that have to work together, partners, people like attorneys with big egos that have to work together. They aren't just some large company heads of divisions. They're actually, people who love what they do, and what they're doing is putting food on the table every day and hopefully also leaving a legacy for the next generation. So referral partners are anybody who works with the same types of clients that I work with, and the ideal client for me would be anyone who owns a small or medium-sized business, or is a real estate investor, or a professional, especially another attorney, who's navigating a business or real estate transaction, forming a partnership, forming a new business. If they need help structuring an LLC or a corporation, or setting up their solid partnership agreements or shareholder agreements if they're in a corporation, or if they're leasing or buying a building, pretty much any transaction related to owning a business, whether that's an investment business or a actual operating company. That's where I come in. And, even down to setting up good contracts that they can use in their business to help prevent future liabilities. And then, what can you tell them about me? I'm a little different than most lawyers because I also have an MBA, a tax background, and my real estate broker's license. So I am someone who brings the business person's mindset to legal problems. And I care more about just the documents. I really care about building relationships with the people, which is what makes me good at what I'm doing. And I built a team also that's really focused on our values, such as integrity, accountability, and even giving back to the community. So my team can help with things that I can't, and it's all under one agreement with our firm. So once you retain us or retain me to do your partnership or business work or your real estate work, you also get my partners who do employment law, or can help you with filing a trademark, or can help you with litigation if you need to sue or if you get sued. And so all of that together comes as a package for the people that we represent. And anybody else who's representing those types of clients, like accountants or commercial real estate brokers, or even IT folks, we're all working with the same types of businesses. Those are great referral partners for me. On the legal vertical as a whole, it's changing everything we do. It's changing how we handle contracts, how we review data, and how we do legal research. It's really just speeding up tasks for lawyers that we can focus on the things that require our, real judgment and strategy. I definitely wouldn't say it's replacing lawyers, but it's continuing to increase our efficiency by making information more accessible and speeding up the process. But what I really notice most, because sometimes I'm getting clients now who say, hey, I use ChatGPT to create this. Can you just review it? It's AI can support judgment, but it can't replace it. So the challenge is knowing when to trust the automation and when the human involvement is essential. So it's spitting back what it sees, and sometimes it's hallucinating. And there's a lot out there for it to find on the internet. Doesn't mean it's all right, and doesn't mean it's all up to date either. And those are some of the biggest issues we see. I've heard it said many times that AI won't replace lawyers, but lawyers who use AI will replace the ones who don't. We definitely have seen that in our office. It's making us more efficient, better lawyers, but you still have to control it. You can't let it take over. And so we've done quite a bit of training in the firm. We've rolled out paid versions of software to maintain confidentiality for clients and make sure that it's not training on our data. And we're very careful about what we put into the AI systems. And we've also done significant training regarding hallucinations and how to manage the risks involved in using AI so that it is creating efficiencies and not liabilities. Well, I think initially it has replaced the Google search. So at times, if you're starting legal research, you never want to count on Google for your answers. You're always going to go to the sources. But if you don't have any idea what you're doing and you're not sure where to start, sometimes Google's a great place to just kind of see what's out there and get the lay of the land before you start spending money on your Westlaw or LexisNexis searches or things like that. And for us, ChatGPT, obviously the paid versions, has replaced that basic Google search. It's helpful because it can compile it, it can give you all of the sources, but you still need to click through every source and make sure that it read them correctly, that they're up to date, do something that we call shepherdize them, which means, confirm that that case that it's relying on, for example, hasn't been overruled. And that's a lot harder to do when it's ChatGPT because it might just be giving you a link to a website of a blog that somebody else wrote years ago. And so you need to take that, and we have a firm policy that you will always repeat that research in Westlaw or Lexis or some other paid version that you can then double check against each other and go to the actual sources and look at the sources to make sure it's correct. That's only the first stage. The next stage is it's absolutely fabulous in saving us time when we can spit all of these things into it and have it come back with a polished memo or a polished letter that just saves the time to have to wordsmith. And it's incredibly effective for some of our attorneys where English may not be their first language, because it then makes them sound much more fluent and reads much better than if they had struggled through trying to type that up themselves. Well, as attorneys, the work that we do can be pretty stressful, and I find it really helps when our clients see us as people first and attorneys second, so that they realize, we are humans and there's only so much we can do, and we are doing our best. So I use LinkedIn as a way to share not just what we do, but why we do it and who we are. For me, LinkedIn's not about selling. It's about being authentic and putting yourself out there so that people understand who you are. It sparks real conversations with other peers and professionals, which I think is really helpful for people to get to know us and who we are and decide who they want to work with. So for example, there's this misunderstanding that, all attorneys know the law. But even if you get to this person with the right specialty for you, you still need to decide who you're comfortable working with. And when we post things on LinkedIn that show a little bit more about who we are and what we believe in, I think that's a really helpful way for people to decide if we're the right fit for them personality-wise, because that's an important part of hiring a professional as much as what we know. And that creates relationships that go beyond the traditional referral model. And then in the same way, I think it also really works for hiring. We are very focused on making sure the people that we bring to strategy law fit with our values and our culture. And this is a way for potential employees or attorneys that want to join our firm to see beyond just the information that's on our website and to actually get a feel for the culture of who the strategy law people are. And that's a great link to use the best word, to our past, what we've done, what we're doing, as well as what we know. Well, I think Provisors is based on getting to know people, the concept of know, like, trust, and the concept of seeing each other on a regular basis, that you remember who's out there and what they can offer. And, all of these things do that. LinkedIn is another follow-up with people And so are these videos and other ways that we connect.